This Defender has OME heavy duty springs on it, and it's also got helper springs in the back. This was designed to be an expedition truck when I bought it. However, the lift is pretty big. These are just storage tyres at the moment, so they're smaller. But it's about a 1 to 2 inch lift, which I want to remove. And I'm going to do that by moving to Puma station wagon springs. And I'll be interested to see how much the lift goes down by, because this has got a roll cage. I've already done the front. I've done that in a different video, so go and check that out. That has stiffer springs on the front, and it's reduced the lift quite a lot because it used to have a heavy duty bull bar and a big winch on the front. The rear, though, the difference is, it's only really got the roll cage on it. So we're going to find out how much the lift changes by putting these standard springs on with the external roll cage, which is basically the only difference to the weight on this vehicle. And then I'm going to compare it to my 97 Defender, which has these springs, basically the same rear setup because it's got the plastic fuel tank and everything, same diff, although it doesn't affect sprung weight, but it doesn't have the roll cage. So we're going to see the impact of the roll cage and what it does to these springs and the ride height. On the front, I use spring compressors just to see how that would go, so you see that in the other video. The rear springs are stronger than the fronts and doesn't really fit so well. So I'm probably not going to use the spring compressors on these. That'll be a bit harder. Really the difficulty with rear springs is you've got to jack the body bit, take the wheel off, droop the axle. That's really the only way you can get them off. So that's about as high as I can go on the high lift, because if I want to work in the tent, that's the full travel I've got. And with the concrete, oh bloody hell. This is probably one of the most sketchy things you can do on a Defender, is taking the rear springs off, because you're going to be holding the chassis up. So, chocked there, I've chocked here. I did this once and the whole vehicle shifted. It went like that, and the whole thing leaned over on the high lift when I was in the garage. That wasn't particularly fun. So, yeah, just takes a lot of caution. I think ideally you'd get some massive sort of axle stands or chassis stands, put them under here, put them in the front there. Don't really have the space, because that's the nightmare, because this is angled. Jacking on or propping on here never feels that safe. Don't you love it when a bolt holds itself captively? I've been wondering whether to replace these shock absorbers with just some more standard ones, but whether these are built for a lift. But you can push it. I think these are long travel ones. This goes all the way up. Look at that, to there. All the way up to there. So you've got that much travel. So I think these would be fine with taking the lift out. Just to get the wheel off. Yeah, that's not fun because the vehicle's going forwards. Okay, so I don't really like this. Yes, that's only on a jack stand at the moment, but it's only holding the axle. This thing, everything's shifted forward a bit. The problem is because it's on a bit of a slight forward slope, but different materials. It's not really chocking that well down the front there. Not really chocking that well here. The axle's rotating, down that way. This is all shifted forwards. You've got nothing other than this. You've got nothing to the front wheel. I could try and put an axle stand there. Let's see what that'll do. Nothing's necessarily right. If I take the tyre out, it'll be too short. If I put it in, it'll be too high. And the other thing's potentially there. I've done this in the past with the jack stand. When I took the axle out on my other one, put a jack stand there, and you're sort of chocking it with wood because it's on an angle. They say, why is it that young men only fight in wars? The answer is because old men know they can die. I feel different about it. It's been about 10 years since I last did this, so it's funny, I feel different. It's a few days later. Enter the Solution. Very pleased with these. These are static caravan supports, and these two are high, so they can fit under the chassis like that. And they were £26 for two, delivered next day. These came very, very quickly. If you were looking at something like an axle stand, automotive axle stand, about this kind of high, you're looking at 50 to 100 quid for those. And these are rated to 5 tons, basically. And you think, how can that be rated to 5 tons when, you know, you get quite thick, you know, thick metal when you've got automotive ones? But, you know, this isn't from Amazon or Alibaba. This is from, you know, a reputable seller in the UK. And there's a guy who's actually, I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested, on eBay. They come in all different heights, but these are great for basically the chassis, and I can use them for a rebuild in future. But on eBay, someone's left a review where they basically used two of these, slightly shorter, but same thing, and rated to 6 tons, on an 8-wheeled tipper. They've supported the entire axle for an 8-wheeled tipper. It's quite funny, actually. It's surprising what steel can do in its strength. Anyway, it's going to hold that up, and I like it because it's able to brace the chassis, and we can support on the flattest part of the chassis. And I probably don't need to use the high lift as well, actually, because ideally what I've been doing with the high lift, it's been jacking the vehicle up, and it then wants to it becomes off centre and unbalanced, and it wants to tip. With these, what I think I'll do is jack up the axle, support that as high as it goes once the wheel's off the ground. Because the problem is, if you jack this and then try and squeeze the axle up to get the wheel off, that's when the vehicle starts moving forwards onto the chocks. So I think I'll jack it first, prop the chassis, and then take the wheel off, and then release and lower down. I think we'll be able to get most of the movement from articulation of the axle rather than, you know, the high lift. I'm trying to jack as high as I can, but that's probably been part of the problem. So we'll give that a go. Just in case you want to know how they work, they're basically a threaded bar that sits on this nut, and that just drops into there and rests. So it takes all its compression through the threads and this nut into that plate there. I've also got a second one, so I can basically jack it anywhere else that I want to put it to make it feel more comfortable. It won't actually fit under that one. I could have, if I wanted to, probably bring it up under here. I'll lift back up. That one's taking the weight. Second one there was just trying around. It's at its limit really, so it's just a bit loose, and I've just left it there. Let's go. There we go. It's stuck at the top. And the bracket. Helper spring. Rusty bolts. Because yeah, so there's a difference. When you got these bits on, these are 30mm, and you need a thick washer in between there. Otherwise, because I'll be taking the inner ones out, use 25mm. So wire brush these and put a bit of built hammer on there. There we go. So once that's down on the bottom, it's then can be useful just to rotate the spring until it locks in, basically. Because that's all it's doing, it's not taking load, it's only just stopping the spring from coming loose. Wheels back on, now to go high enough, take the pressure off of this. I think that second one was a bit of a hassle and unnecessary. I think these stands have transformed that job and made it eminently safer, and the price of these was pretty good as well. So there's a link down in the description if you're interested. And standard springs and wheels, standard height is about 50 inches to the rear chassis leg, so these ones need to be in that range. So here, this is probably a bit higher than it needs to be, but of course you are going to. The reason why this is higher is because you're jacking up the axle, so this is going to raise up a bit, and then you're going to chock it, and that's the key technique. Do the axle first, chock the chassis where it stands, let the axle droop. Sometimes they're a bit wonky, so you just get the alignment a bit right, depending on where you put it on the chassis, and you can actually move the chassis up and down while you're screwing this up and down. It will actually lift the chassis by itself. On the whole, very good, very useful, and I think that's made that job a lot safer. And then for a rebuild in future, when I've got a bare chassis and I need to put axles underneath it, then I'll definitely be using these, and probably buy another two that are shorter for the chassis, the dum irons on the front. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.